Hi, my name's Heather, and the prequel that I would like to see is to It Follows that came out in 2015. So, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, It Follows is about a young lady who has sex with a young man, and he passes on to her an entity, a curse, a ghost, whatever you want to call it, and it will follow her until it kills her or she has sex and passes it on to someone else. What I thought was also really interesting about this movie is that if the entity does kill her, then it goes backwards and starts killing whoever passed it on to her. So I believe that an excellent prequel plot for this would be taking place in the Victorian time, and we would have a Victorian woman who, and of course during that time, Victorian women had only their virtue, which was their virginity, to offer men for marriage, who was convinced by a gentleman that he was going to marry her, and she has sex with him before marriage. And of course, he doesn't marry her, he goes off to have sex with someone else, or he marries someone else, and she becomes scorned. And somehow maybe she dies or maybe she murders him in the process. And through that, she haunts and stalks every other individual that that individual has had sex with, and so on, taking different shapes and forms and entities to seek out her revenge. So I think this would be an extra plot line because historically it's pretty accurate that this happened to young women in the 1800s, early 1900s. And I think it would easily make a good hour and a half film, and you would have a mix of between the protagonist of feeling bad for this young woman who is taken advantage of, but then also not liking the fact that she's going to kill all these other individuals that had nothing to do with it. And you could even have a dual protagonist. So maybe you have her being the protagonist at the beginning, and that changes as she starts to go on this murderous rampage of killing one person after another. And of course, you have the moment that you think that the person or whoever it is going to destroy her, and they don't. And it ends off with we see how the gentleman from It Follows contacts the or gets the entity in the first place. So that is the prequel that I would like to see.